From
From the bedroom in the hotel. All right, we should be live. Give it just a second to load up.
what's the shirt say? 27% life.
27% life. Do you follow Nas Daily?
Oh my, yeah. I used to follow him like way back.
Yeah, so he wears this shirt every day, and basically it symbolizes how far through your life you are. So if I have the average life expectancy of a male in the U.S., I'm 27% through my life.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
I
wild.
wear it every day as a reminder. I got 5
I
of
like
them.
that, man. Reminds you time's limited, right?
Yes, it does. Don't waste it. All right, everyone. Well, looks like we're live. If you are here in the chat, drop a message. Let us know if you can see us and hear us okay. Tonight we're joined by the Taylor Jones official. Taylor, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Logan. Thanks for having me on, brother. It's been a minute since I've done one of these, so appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Well, we'll start off with just the basics. If you could kind of tell us your background, who is Taylor? Kind of how'd you get to this point?
Yeah, in general or specifically reselling
Let's go
or
both.
yeah. So I mean, gosh, depending on how far you want to go back, growing up, one of three brothers, really had a really close family growing up. Family itself, like my dad, my mom's side, no one in my family has been super entrepreneurial spirit. Like I was the first one in my entire extended family that has ever really running or started a successful business. Well, 2 years, I guess you could call it successful, but so that was, a big breakaway for me to get that going. But went to school for business. Graduated in 2017 with a degree, 4-year degree from Oswego. And dude, I probably had like 7 different jobs after I graduated. I was working in restaurants. I was at hotels, like as a bellman. I eventually worked up and like got a sales job for Xerox. Didn't like any of them. Hated like having a boss and like a specific schedule. Like I wanted to travel. I wanted to go be crazy, and like I just felt like any job I had was limiting me. So um, from the years of like 2019 to probably 2018 to 2021, even 2020, I was just trying all this different stuff, trying to, find a way to make money online that let me travel, like the millennial dream. And then I found reselling in late 2019, found Amazon in 2020, and then that's when I just started selling. And once I knew what I found on Amazon, I was like, this is it, and then yeah, fast forward today, just still mainly focusing on Amazon and just traveling the world, working from my laptop, making content, helping other people do it, and yeah, living life.
So, how did you find out about reselling, and then specifically, how'd you get into Amazon after that?
Yeah, so geez, the first time I ever heard of reselling, like actually go wait dates back to like when I was like 15. Like my brother actually used to be really good at flipping wrestling shoes. I don't know if you've heard of have you heard of the website called Flickr? Flickr.
No, I haven't.
It's like a photo website. But the wrestling community used it to like post and resell their shoes. And some of these wrestling shoes, the rare ones, they'd have a drop, and they would stop selling, and they'd go for like $500-600. So my brother was reselling that. That was the first time I heard about reselling, but we never like pursued it seriously. I started following Gary Vee, saw some of his videos. The first time I ever resold anything myself was November 2019. I was in a TJ Maxx and I sold like a designer Robert Graham shirt. I bought 5 for $40 a piece and sold them for 80. Made like, a couple $100. And I was like, oh my God. And then I found Amazon probably like 2 months later. Um, yeah, and then just went all in, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Gary is who got me into Amazon as well. I saw him. He made an Instagram video talking about retail arbitrage flipping and how you could just like go into a Marshalls, start scanning shoes, and just the whole process. But what got me is Gary said it's a way to make a quick $5,000. And Gary's always like preaching patience. So when Gary was using the word quick, I knew it had to be legit, and I started just looking into it more.
Yeah, man. I think Gary Vee definitely inspired. I feel like is definitely one of the big faces of the reselling community. You
For
know,
sure.
so he said he's. I mean, in terms of like mentors, like people that have inspired me, he's definitely top three for sure.
Yeah. Who were some of those other mentors and just people you learned from when you were getting into the space?
Yeah. So a couple like little smaller known people like Stefan Arnio was a big inspiration for me. Um, Specifically because one of the biggest not limiting beliefs, roadblocks that I ran into when getting started with my own business was like this taking self responsibility. You know, like I think that's something that we all struggle with at the beginning of our lives, or whenever you know, really want to take your life to the next level, I guess is a good way of saying it. You have to take responsibility for everything in your life, your friends, your income, your happiness, like everything's your fault. So he taught me that. I read his book Hard Times Create Strong Men. That was a profound impact on me, and I was like, I'm being a little bitch basically. And then probably Grant Cardone, Grant Cardone, and Gary Vee, probably top three, you know.
Yeah, Gary Vee actually talks a lot about everything in life is on you too. That's like one of my first Instagram saved videos is Gary talking about everything in life is on you. And like even if it's not like when you logically think about it your fault, you just accepting that responsibility and then going on the offense to actually solve the problem will get you so much further.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, it's easy enough to like say that and like to know that in your head, like, oh yeah, like everything, it's all my responsibility. But it's another thing to really embody that, so I totally agree. It's
Yeah.
very important, you know.
Kind of on the same subject, flipping it with Cisco says, question for Taylor, who's your business superhero? So do you have like one person that you just really look up to besides Gary Vee, he says?
Gosh. There's a couple people. That's a really good question. I guess it's really interesting. If I look back on the past 3 years that I've been in business, when I first started, it was like Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, and these big people. I was like, I want to be like them. And then I guess there was like a switch that happened like a year ago where I was like, I just want to really, really focus on what I love the most and try to do a lot more of that, which that mindset sort of was the culmination of the Costa Rica mastermind. But in terms of my business superhero right now, I guess I don't really know. I really have a superhero. I've been following some people like Arlen Moore. He's a big YouTuber. He lives a really cool life. He travels a lot. Big YouTuber. Does sell some courses. Like he's been a big inspiration. I've been following him recently. But yeah, kind of just been focusing on me, trying to get better, become a better tailor. But in terms of superhero, I guess I can't really think of anyone else, honestly.
So what does your business operation look like today? Primary sourcing methods. Just walk us through how your whole operation looks.
Yeah. So in terms of income, primary income is my own store. All online arbitrage, and that hasn't always been like that. I mean, the first year and a half I was in business, it was all retail arbitrage. It's kind of like how I went viral on TikTok, um, and got into OA hard because I knew like I need to do OA if I want to be able to do this remotely. So now it's all OA. I have three virtual assistants, right? Yeah, three virtual assistants. I'm trying to hire one more. Two of them that really just source leads. One of them that sort of manages the store and updates all the spreadsheets, communicates with the prep center. And then I also, at the beginning of this year, got into a little automation. So I also have three of my client stores that I basically source all of their inventory for them, send it to the prep center, and we split the profit 50-50. In terms of a day-to-day, I'm basically looking at the spreadsheet of all the leads that my VAs found me, and I'm just going in. I'm providing feedback to the leads that I don't like, and buying the stuff that I do like, or basically telling them I have my VAs placing a lot of orders as well. Um, yeah, that's kind of a breakdown. I think, does that answer the question? Was there anything
Yeah,
I missed there?
no, that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
sounds kind of pretty similar to my scenario as well. For like my first year to year and a half, I was doing RA hard, and then I realized OA is what I have to do to be able to scale, and then also like you said, be able to work from anywhere. That's a big perk of if you're running an OA business, you can work from anywhere in the world. And then as far as the VAs too, like they're doing pretty much all my sourcing for me, and then I'm just going through reviewing them, picking which ones we're actually going to buy, and providing feedback so that they can improve.
Yeah, man, it's VAs are a game changer. Like there's so many tasks that, you know, you don't need to be great at spreadsheets to run an Amazon business. You don't need to be really good at customer service. Like you just need to figure out the main skill, which is looking at a keeper graph and sourcing products. That's the only thing that matters. And pretty much everything else you can have a VA do for you. Obviously, you should do it first to understand the process. But once you understand it, like, give it away to someone else. So,
yeah. So you mentioned that you have like an automation service. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
yeah. So this is like super new. The reason I got into it was 5 months ago, I only had about 13K of personal credit. So I had all of these leads. I still had 2 VAs at the time, and I'm just like, God, I can't even source anymore because I was working with investors at the time, but that was also limited. So I posted on my story, and this one guy reached out to me, and like we were thinking about doing an investment deal, and he's like, why don't we just do a 50-50 split? So I was like, okay, So we started working together probably 6 months ago, and I'm probably spending 20, 25 grand on his account, averaging similar ROIs as my store. And we just split the profit 50-50. So that's why I got into it. Cause I had people that, trusted me, that reached out. They're like, hey, I have too much to do. I don't have time to run an Amazon store. I trust you. Can I just give you access to my credit and my store and you run it for me? So, and then in January, I took on 2 more people. And then overall, it's been going pretty good. The biggest thing I'm running into right now is like just setting up the system so that I don't have to be as involved.
Yeah.
I would eventually like to pass it over to someone like either my VA or a US based employee who could like go in and make the purchasing decisions for me because it is a lot of work. But I enjoy it. It's good money, and I don't. The thing I like about it is I get to use someone else's credit. So, I mean, obviously, I'm liable for their success, but it's not my credit. It's not my risk. It definitely minimizes my risk a little bit.
So you're using this person's capital, this person's credit, setting up a store for them, and then essentially running the whole business, just using their credit and then splitting the profit. Is that correct?
Yep. I have my bookkeeper. She runs the numbers at the end of each month. She pulls the Amazon transaction report, what sold, runs it against what we spent on the inventory, minus prep fees, minus Amazon fees. Yeah.
So it's the true like net profit bottom line
Net.
that you're splitting. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. We got a couple questions here from Cisco. Do you have a favorite quote that you want to share?
I guess the one I read this morning, I was listening to the E-Myth. Have you read the E-Myth?
I haven't. I've heard you talking about it though.
Dude,
Do I need to read it?
you do need to read it. I am still reading it. I just started, but Avery, if you guys don't know Romer the Romer, go give him a follow on Instagram. He had a big influence on me, getting started, and he said that book had a big impact on him. And one of the quotes that I think it was Aldous Huxley said at the beginning of they share in the book was, God, it's on my story. I don't even remember it now. What did it say? It goes, we max ourselves with work to avoid looking at who we really are or something. Let me see. What did I say? Let's see. I intoxicate myself with, we intoxicate ourselves with work to avoid looking at who we really are. And I think that's so true in entrepreneurship. Sometimes we keep ourselves so busy that we forget about taking a step back and focusing on not only the more important things that you could be doing in your business to move it along, but secondly, what are the most important things that I want to do in my life to maximize my enjoyment? So I think sometimes we just keep ourselves so busy to avoid looking at those things seriously with deep consideration.
It's good. I'll check out the E-Myth.
And then he said, what is your Costa Rican coffee or Colombian coffee?
Costa Rican or Colombian? Do you have a preference, I guess?
Dude, it's been a long time since I was in Colombia. I'm going to say Costa Rica just because I'm on a Costa Rica kick right now, and I love that country. But they're probably both good, to be honest. Actually, you know what? I can't answer that question personally, but I know that Costa Rican coffee, I believe like each part of the world prefers a different type of roast. And I remember this girl telling me we went on a coffee tour and they told us, but I don't remember what. You could Google it probably though. I know each part of the world focuses on like a different roast.
I don't think I've ever had Costa Rican coffee, but Colombian's pretty good.
Yeah.
What are your primary sourcing strategies? Like, even if you're not doing the sourcing yourself, do you know what methods you're teaching your VA team to use?
Dude, it's funny you ask. I literally, I was planning on getting on here sooner to like chop it up with you before this, and I didn't because I was literally recorded like a 49-minute Loom video, which is the longest I've ever recorded. But I was like, I want to show my VAs that they can source way more deals, and like right now, I think my minimum for like 2 of them is like 8 leads per day. And I'm like thinking about it, I'm like, they could be doing way more than that. So, to go back to your question, how do you source inventory? It's like, and one of the things that I just got this new extension called Seller Amp. And the strategy that I broke down with them was a 4-step process. Step number 1, go through your leads right now. Everything in your inventory. Go through your inventory. Pick the top 3 best performing items. What items are selling the most with the best ROI? Pick a few, then just pick one. Go to open up the Amazon listing and then go to Keepa data, go to the offers, and then find the seller on that listing that has sold the most, because they obviously know what they're doing if they sold the most versus a guy who maybe only bought 1 or 2, right? Find a guy who sold 50, 60 units past 30 days. Go to his store through Seller Amp. And if you go to the Amazon listing, click on Seller Amp and then scroll down to offers. It'll show you all the offers. If you don't have Seller Amp, I mean, you can do this without it either. And then look at all of their leads. That's one way of doing it. That's the one way I found like 5 leads in the past hour that are like prime doing that. Storefront stalking is great, but I also just love like going straight to the retail website that's offering a specific deal, whether it's Target or Kohl's, and just looking at clearance. And then specifically, I'd say find the brands that that are performing the best. I only probably sell 5 brands like that are the most. I do sell some off items here and there, but once you find a brand that's cranking, like that's an opportunity zone, keep looking for other items with that brand.
Yeah. Are you using tactical arbitrage?
I don't. I've tried it a couple times. I wasn't a big fan. What about you?
Same here.
I don't like it, man.
Yeah, I pretty much like everything I do is pretty manual. Everything my team does is pretty manual. We use Seller Amp to kind of help speed up that process. 2 features I really like from them is, one, when you're on a source page, you can activate their Chrome extension and it'll find an Amazon listing. So that's a really helpful feature. And then just today, actually, I started doing that process that you're talking about, like going to their storefront via Seller Amp. And then it really helps speed up the storefront stocking process. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I found seriously almost 20 leads in just over an hour. It speeds it up so much.
It's crazy, dude. And I actually didn't know about Seller Amp. I literally just got that 5 days ago because I don't know if you guys follow Avery. He's like going hardcore in OA right now, like making the fastest transition I've ever seen. And he called me and told me about it. He's like, dude, check out this extension. It's crazy. And at first I was like, but it is awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's not a bad price either. It's like what, $20 a month? It's so worth it.
It's like $23. It's a no-brainer. Looks like we got a couple questions in here, Monica. What's your
buying criteria?
Yeah. 30% ROI. I will go as low as 25, 24 if it's the Keepa is sexy and it's cranking units. Typically 30% ROI.
And then minimum profit?
Minimum profit like $7, $8.
Wow.
I have gone, and some people might be like, what? I'll go as low as 5. I don't want anything less than 5 because my average sales price last year I think was like 29. Right now it's like almost $60. And I want to keep increasing that. I don't want to mess with an item that has $3 of profit because the price drops and you're screwed. So $7, $8 minimum profit per unit, at least 10 sales a month per like the variation. And then minimum 30% ROI.
Wow. Yeah. I do minimum 325 profit. However, I'll go as low as 2 if all it requires is an FN SKU and if like it flies and the buy box is extremely flat.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's everything, man. Is because like Logan, just looking at a Keepa, like you can look at the Keepa and sort of get a feeling for like how much risk you're taking when you buy
yeah,
something.
for
So
sure.
I can look at a Keepa and I'm like, okay, this is very minimal risk. Then I'm more likely to be able to accept a lower one.
Yeah, Christian Martinez says, "Have you ever thought of going into wholesale?"
Yeah, I'm definitely open to it. I have a couple friends that are doing it. Um, if it came around, I'm looking for someone that like has a VA that's like highly trained that like could train my VA for a fee. So if anybody in here does wholesale and they want to hook me up, I'm open to doing it. I'm also not rushing into it because OA is accomplishing everything that I want to do and more. And I think I can scale to several 100,000 a month doing OA. So I'm straight for now.
Yeah. I'm doing like 90% OA right now. Maybe 95, but I'm slowly adding more wholesale. Um, I just see it being more scalable long term. Order cancellations, getting banned from websites, it's definitely limiting. And I'm seeing wholesale as being an avenue where I can give my money to people who actually want to do business with me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of perks that you get in wholesale that you don't get with OA. I've also heard some people wholesale friends complaining about the supply chain, which I'm guessing affects OA too, but that's hurt them as wholesalers. I
Yeah,
don't
I've
know if
seen
you heard.
issues with that. Like a few accounts that I've been able to get open, their products look good, but they all have like minimum 6 week lead time, and we know what could happen to an Amazon listing in 6 weeks. So I'm not messing with those companies for now.
Yeah, and I think also too, like you have, my one friend was Michael, who was telling me last night, like if he wants to get free shipping, it's like minimum $2,000 order. Well, what if you only have one UPC from a catalog that you want to buy? It's
Yeah,
like, okay, I would say my average OA order per item is probably $500 to $800. It's a lot less risk than
yeah,
2,000 for one item,
yeah,
which I guess at scale it starts to making more sense. Like I'm okay with taking that
yeah,
$2,000 risk, but I don't know. I'm fine
yeah.
with OA right now. I think it's a great business model for what I'm doing.
Yeah, you definitely have to go. Usually have to go deeper on an ASIN for wholesale, and it's more risky. But like you said, it's kind of just like where we're at. That's more risky. Like an Amazon lit dropping 10 grand on an ASIN, that's nothing to them. And on like
Exactly.
before we got on this call, I dropped $1,000 on an ASIN. A year ago, there's no shot I would have done that because it would have been too risky. Your risk tolerance grows as your business grows.
Exactly. It's 100% true. If you have $1,000 in credit line, you're not going to spend that on one product, or
Right.
please don't. That wouldn't be smart.
Yeah. So what exactly? Let's dive a little bit deeper. What do you want reselling to accomplish for you? What is your why behind running this business?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say that there's probably a couple different avenues there. The main reason I got into entrepreneurship was because I wanted to be an example. I wanted my life to be an example to my family and friends specifically, but now the world, that like we are capable of way more than we think. And like I wanted my life to like show people that like, look, we can be free beings. We can do whatever the hell we want when we want, and that includes making more money, having better relationships, creating better friendships, doing more things that we want to do and we want to do them. And I mean, I set that intention years ago, and reselling just so happened to be the thing that popped into my life to be the vehicle that freed up me financially to be able to do the things that I want to do, you know?
Mm,
And then like I didn't plan on being the reselling guy on Amazon or on social media. It just sort of happened. And because I set that intention, like, hey, I want to be able to be a voice to help other people, to inspire people to take action, to improve their life. Reselling content has therefore given me an audience on social media to help people. Like here we are, chopping it up about Amazon, but also life, because the concepts are very interrelatable. So to answer
yeah,
your question, um, yeah, I guess my why is to just create more freedom for myself and ultimately other people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's like the best part about entrepreneurship, in my opinion, and it's why I think a lot of people become entrepreneurs is to get freedom. A lot of people want to leave their job, free up their time, whatever. And great thing about Amazon OA specifically is you have that freedom to work from wherever and whenever. So yeah, it's all about freedom, and yeah,
Yeah, and I also think like reselling has like such a zero barrier to entry. Like you don't need to spend 5, 10 months, a year building a brand. You can literally start with nothing. Anyone can make an account if you're a US citizen. Like it doesn't require anything. There's no excuse, So
Yeah. We got a couple questions here. We'll get caught up on these real quick. Monica says, "Are you training VAs for a fee?"
I am. If you go to I don't know I haven't set up a domain or whatever. But if you go to my Instagram and just check out VA services, I'm about to raise the price too because my friends hit me up. They're like, Taylor, that's too low. But yeah, if you check it out in my bio, I'll hire a VA for you.
What are you
We've nailed
charging?
down this whole process. I have like 5 listings already set up for bookkeepers, product sourcers for OA. And I've probably hired like over 50 VAs now for myself and other people. So absolutely.
How much do you charge?
As of right now, it's $197 or like $200 for like 3 interviews. Qualified people. I know, yeah, super cheap. And then I think you can upcharge. I'm upcharging $300 to train them for you. So if you want to pay $300, I'll train you with like the bookkeeping software or spreadsheets that we use to track profit per month for your Amazon store, or I can train them how to source OA leads for you, and that's $300.
I dropped the link here in the chat if anyone is interested. But yeah, I got quoted at $3,000 to have a VA train for me.
Yeah, and that's why I'm understanding why my friends reach out. They're like, Taylor, that's too low.
Yeah. Christian says, "If you get into wholesale, it's harder to get a VA to help. I personally have just my VA go through catalogs." Then he said, "As far as wholesale goes, the companies you want to get actually offer promos, but you can order up to a month beforehand. This way you don't have to deal with supply issues."
Oh, that's nice. So you get access to products sooner.
Cisco says, "Do you believe in positive affirmations?" And Lil Wayne quote, "Yes, I am the best, and no, I ain't positive. I'm definitely know the game like I'm reffing it." So do you do positive affirmations? I know we did some in Miami.
100%, man. And not in a cliche, like woo-woo way. It's like, it's real. It's, how do I say this like the best way? Like, I mean, I don't wake up in the morning and have like a really strict, like, okay, it's 8 o'clock and I'm going to walk to the mirror and recite these phrases. I know some people that have like the same things that they say every day. I know that for a year and a half, like 6 months before I started my business, I was repeating my purpose, my mission, and my goal like every single day. And it took me like 3 minutes, and I can like, recite it by not even looking. So I was doing that. But I think that like, I used to like teach yoga, and one of the things that the yogis do is they have like a japa, like they repeat a mantra over and over again. Like they'll repeat it like hundreds of times over and over and over again. And each japa has like a resonating line in the Sanskrit, but it's basically like an affirmation. And they work, dude. They work. I mean, if you just think of it from a simple way of thinking, like if you say something, these words carry weight and meaning in our lives. If you raise your hand and say I'm awesome versus like my life sucks, like you're going to feel a certain way when you say that. And I think that our lives are the quality of our emotions. And so if you can consciously do things such as affirmations that are consciously changing the way you feel, I think that's most definitely works. Do you agree self-confidence is important in this game? Absolutely. You need self-confidence to take risk, and Amazon takes risk,
For sure. So what are some of your goals for your business this year?
Yeah, I definitely want to hit 1 million in sales this year, which I think I'm on track. I think I've spent like 30,000 on inventory so far this month. My goal is to I think I can bust out another 10 to 15K, maybe spend at least 45, 50K this month. And at that rate, if I can just hold that for the rest of the year, maybe go up to 60, I can definitely, I think by spending 50, 60K a month, hit 1 million. So that's the goal for my business. Goals for my automation clients is to improve the ROIs. So maybe hire another VA, make sure we maintain lead quality. I want to do another mastermind event. That was a lot of fun. So, use that in social media as like a way to help people, bring people together. Amazing memories of the last one. And yeah, just be a better person too. I think I also, one thing I want to do this year is invest in like some type of coaching. I've, through Amazon, I've coached a lot of people, but I've come to learn through all of the courses and coaching I've offered. I've actually paused on that for several months because there's a lot that goes into it. So personally, I want to invest in myself before I offer to other people to invest in me. So,
Do you want to invest in a coaching like that's specifically in this Amazon industry, or like business mindset, or what kind of coaching
yeah,
do you want
definitely
to get?
more not Amazon. I mean, I know a lot about Amazon, and I know that if I wanted to learn wholesale or learn this or learn that, I could figure it out myself. I know enough about the basics. Yeah, definitely more specifically like mindset or how to scale a coaching business or how to um, powerfully coach other people, right? Like something like that.
Yeah,
Maybe like a Tony Robbins thing. We'll see.
cool. He just dropped a new book not too long ago. Been wanting to look into that.
Yeah, what was the name of it?
Let's see,
I know.
called
Why don't
Life
you just tell me
Force.
this question? Life Force. Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw that not too long ago.
yeah. So going back to your inventory spend, are you? We talked about credit cards before we went live. Are you like leveraging credit, or what's your kind of process for that look like?
Yeah. So probably end of last year, I was using one investor because, like I said, I didn't have any credit cards. I literally just got my first business credit card beginning of this year, like February. So that was a huge level up to get that. So I have 3 American Express cards now for business: the
Which
plum, the
ones?
platinum, and the gold.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm putting like 70% of my inventory on the plum just because it's giving me that extra 30 days. But I'm also putting a fair amount on my platinum too, just because I want the points. Um, and that's been a game changer because before those cards, I mean, I had to work with investors and then give them 25% of the profit. So like the last investor deal I did, they gave me 50K. I bought $50,000 worth of inventory for Q4. Um, the profit was like 10K. I think it was like a 20% ROI at the end of the day. So it was 10K profit, but I only kept 7,500 and I gave them $2,500 in profit to use their money. It's a big chunk. So credit cards have been a game changer. It's giving me the freedom to control, like, that cycle. And the points are awesome. I mean, I'm staying in this hotel with points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, anyone who doesn't have an Amex credit card, go get one. Like they're the best credit company I've ever worked with. That
yeah,
Plum card is absolute fire because you get 60-day terms. So you get like an extra 30 days from a normal card to pay it back. Plus there's no hard limit. So they started me off with like 13K, and then just as you use that, pay it back, they're going to expand your limit and just allow you to get more and more inventory. And then another tip, if you're in the wholesale game at all, I have a few brands that I work with, and one of them gave me net 30 terms. So I would order the inventory, send it in, and then after 30 days of receiving it, I would pay it with my Plum card. So I'm
you
getting
get like
90
90 days.
days to sell through the inventory before I actually have to pay for it.
Is awesome. Dirty money, man. You can sell it through everything and then buy it again before you even have to pay.
Yes.
Yeah, I recorded a podcast, like just myself, ranting on my phone. Sometimes I go for walks and just like record my thoughts. And I'm like, holy shit, we live in America and I get to spend $50,000 of a bank's money to go buy inventory that's going to make me like 15,000, probably more, or no, yeah, 10, 15,000 at least. Like, how freaking awesome is that? Like we live such a
Yeah.
good life compared to like 100, 200 years ago. Like it's unbelievable. So credit is awesome. God
Yes, it
bless credit.
is. Yes. Use it wisely, but if you know how to use it and you're not dumb, it's going to make you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Let's see. A couple people are asking about your favorite song.
Um, that's a good question. I love Russ. I've been really jamming to Russ lately. I mean, not lately, just in general, like the past several years. Um, Handsomer.
I know I'm fine, but the money makes me handsomer.
I love that. I've been really jamming to that. Code of the Friend has been really good. He talks about like gratitude in his songs. He's like a little low key rapper, not super famous. Yeah, probably those. I love Russ. Been always jamming to Russ. So
And then Sisso asks, are you still doing the ice plunge?
the venue for my wedding is an ice plunge pool, having all my groomsmen jump in. Hell yeah, man. I mean, no, not as often, but been, every once in a while I'll turn the shower cold. It's hard. Like, I mean, living in Miami when we had the apartment and the freezer, I was doing it every day, but it's definitely more difficult to accommodate now. But I mean, I'm still crank the water cold in the shower, but it's probably not nearly as cold, but game changer.
Do you still flinch before you get in the cold water?
Do what?
Do you like flinch, or are you able to just go right into the cold, or do you like stop and still have to like get yourself into it?
No, I mean, I would say that, I mean, I would probably flinch now because I haven't done it in a minute, but I definitely still have a tolerance, like, compared to someone who's never gone in freezing water. Like, I could jump in a lake right now. Like, I mean, this Thanksgiving, I went into Lake Ontario. You can go to my Instagram and go back to November. I think the water I looked online was like mid 40s, low 40s, and I was in there for like 2.5 minutes. So most people would freak out and get out, but yeah, man, I love that shit. If you can control your breath in freezing water, you can control your emotional state, and your body is incapable of tremendous things. And you can stay in freezing water, a lot longer than you think you can.
Yeah, I'm a big Wim Hof fan. I take a few cold showers a week, sometimes ice baths. And Cisco asked if it's more for like health or mental. In my opinion, it's more mental. There's definitely health benefits like the increased immune system and stuff like that. But it's just getting yourself to do something hard, getting yourself to do something uncomfortable.
Yeah, it boosts your confidence. There's definitely a laundry list of, I think it boosts testosterone too.
Yeah.
Like, but no, it's definitely a big mindset thing. Like, when we're in states of fear, we tend to retreat. We tend to avoid things like that. So but just by jumping at it, like this obnoxiously difficult thing, because it's not easy, it primes our brain for the rest of the day to just attack all of the
Yep.
problems that we have, which is
Yeah.
like, obviously we want that as an entrepreneur, to just be like, let's attack everything that's a problem.
So are you like traveling full time now?
Pretty much. So kind of how the situation is, I have a 2-bedroom house in Costa Rica that I'm renting out for like 1,300 a month. And I'm like, I'll be going back there. I'll be living there for the next 2 months, like May, June. I'll be in Costa Rica just grinding. But like the past 3 months, I've been renting that out for like 1,900 bucks a month. So I've been like positive cash flow, like 500 bucks on that Airbnb. And I'm in Austin right now. I am about to sign a lease tomorrow on a 1-bedroom apartment that I'll also be Airbnbing. So that's what I'm trying to like take the Amazon money and just sort of move it into right now short-term rentals, but also like eventually real estate. But Airbnb is also super nice because now like I have an apartment in Austin that's hopefully going to make me about $2,000 a month. And now I have a spot in Texas in the US that I can come and crash whenever I want. So it's like, not only is it making me money, building my business credit, because I'm getting a corporate lease, but I also have a place like that I can come stay in the US now. So
Yeah.
I'm traveling full time. Yes. But I'm also like, I can't travel for more than a couple months at a time. And I need to just sort of chill out and like be in one spot, get into a routine and focus. So yes and no.
What's your process look like for letting your landlord let you do a sublease Airbnb? Is it
Yeah, it's a good question. Honestly, I had the help of my friend Cecilia. She's called on Instagram. Let me shout her out right now, because if you guys want help with this, she's the person to go to. Um, she's been helping me. It's Freedom by Cecilia, FREEDOM by Cecilia, CECILIA. She helped me out big time. She helped me find this one and another one that I'm applying for. But you have to like get a corporate lease. If you get a corporate lease, you can have the option to like amend some of the rules with the lease to basically allow subletting to take place on the property. Most apartment complexes don't allow it in their lease, so you have to make sure that you either find a place that is okay with it or request addendums to be added where it's allowed. And then another way to do it is you can just find a homeowner or who owns a set of apartments that owns them himself and avoid the bigger complexes and just have a conversation and be like, hey, can you work with me? The pro is that, so the guy that I'm renting from in Costa Rica, like he's just a dude I met, 65-year-old dude. He had this house. He just wants money coming in. He doesn't care. So the pro to him is he's getting $1,300 a month. he doesn't have to worry about filling it up, right? Short-term rentals, you are in the hospitality industry. So that's your offer to people if you want to get into Airbnb is you're saying, look, stay in the rental industry, stay in the real estate industry, let me rent from you, and I'm going to turn your property into a business. I'm going to keep it in top-notch condition for you, and I'm going to be the one in charge of the hospitality. So that's kind of how you want to offer it. But yeah, talk to Cecilia. She'll help you out. She helped me big time.
Awesome. Is this kind of just something you're doing short term, or do you plan to get into like the Airbnb more long term as well?
No, I plan on sticking around, I mean, I'm going to be signing a 13-month lease, and I want to continue to add properties to my portfolio as long as they maintain profitability, as long
So
as it seems good, I'm going to be at it.
are you going to continue using your same strategies, or do you think you'll like buy your own properties?
I'll probably continue using my strategies. Maybe next year I'll be making enough money, to where I'll just start stashing cash and buy property. With the way that like things are going on in real estate right now, that is not my niche. And like, it seems like we could be like in a big, like housing prices are going crazy. So I think I'm going to wait on buying for now because I'm definitely not a pro there. The rental game has been going good for me. So I think I'll just focus on that. And then if an opportunity presents itself, maybe I find a mentor in the real estate game that wants to hold my hand through that process, then I'll be open to that.
Awesome. Well, kind of wrap it up and back to Amazon. Do you have any advice for someone wanting to get started in the Amazon reselling space?
Yeah, I would say like one, like get started, buy something, set up an account, pay the $40, go. Watch a little bit of content, maybe watch this interview, maybe watch a couple other people and put the laptop down. Like you're going to learn way more by going and doing. So to step number one, go do. Don't watch a bunch of content. Like I know that's counterproductive to us because we want people to watch our content, but I'm being serious. I watched 2 YouTube videos and I taught everything else myself. Number two, make friends. DM me, DM Logan, DM other people, ask questions, introduce yourself, make your Instagram public, post content, let people know who you are, make friendships. All the biggest level ups I've had in business are because of friends and people that I met that told me, hey, why the heck are you doing that? Do this. And then, yeah, those would probably be the top 2. Like just get started, make friends.
Yeah. Go and network. Get on Instagram, slide up on stories, DM people, get connected. It's a huge part of being successful in this business and in any business.
100%.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna kind of wrap it up, but we'll give it a few more minutes if anyone has any other questions for Taylor. Billy,
Billy
what's
Phillips
up?
in here. We're in the trenches. We're in the trenches. Let's see, Taylor, are you still eating raw meat? Yes and no. It's been a while, actually, probably several weeks, but I do like raw steak.
You just prefer the taste? Is that why you do it?
Yeah, dude, it just tastes good. It just tastes really good. I hate like overcooked meat. Like, ugh. I don't know. Maybe that's weird. Maybe that's not healthy, but I mean, I haven't died yet. So
if you like it.
But what about you, Logan? What would your advice be to new sellers?
My advice to new sellers: take action.
Take action.
Yeah. I would say watch content. But yeah, actually make an account, go get started. I would advise you to focus on, like, it's different for everybody, but typically people are going to have lower capital budgets starting out. So my advice is to get started on a place that's like a really high ROI game so that you're able to grow your capital from the start. Personally, I started at Dollar Tree, and I think that's a great place for people to start just because it's high ROI and also low risk. So you're going to make mistakes when you start, and it's a lot easier to make that mistake on a $1 profit or a $1 buy cost item. I guess now they're like $1.25, but $1 versus like a $40 buy, that's going to hurt you a lot less. So focus on less risk, but also high ROI at the same time.
Yep, I think that's great advice. Retail arbitrage.
Trenches.
Yep. What's it like being from Paul Mac? Dude, it's awesome. In the woods, small school. Let's go. Billy's from like 20 minutes from where I grew up. So small world.
Cisco says the Liver King.
Dude, that guy's wild.
Yeah.
Logan, have you seen that guy?
Yeah, I have.
That guy's
He's wild.
straight wild, man. He's ripped. I'll take his body. I would love to look like that. Then again, I feel like that'd be so awkward. I kind of like the mix. I'm like a mix between like I have some muscle on me, but I like also like can stretch and like am flexible with the yoga stuff. I'm looking for longevity. I feel like that guy is gonna be like 65 and like I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I don't know. But like I just want to like be able to go hiking at 85. That's all.
Yeah, I mean he eats raw meat, so you could end up looking like him.
He makes bank on Amazon private label. Wow. That's interesting. I know you. Who'd have thought?
The Liver King?
I guess so.
I would not have guessed that. All right. Well, Taylor, thank you for your time, for dropping knowledge, sharing your story. Where can everybody find you?
Yeah. So go to Taylor Jones _official. That's my Instagram and TikTok. If you guys want to make it to the next travel experience, last time was awesome. Go check out the recap video at TaylorJonesExperiences.com. I'm going to be taking another group of 15 people to either Mexico, Colombia, who knows? I'm not sure where. So check out TaylorJonesExperiences.com. Even if you don't want to buy the ticket right now, you can just put your email in there and stay up to date with updates. So as soon as I lock down a location, you'll get an email. As soon as spots are filling up and we're running low, I will also send you an email. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Taylor.
Sweet. Thanks for having me on, Logan. Appreciate you, brother.